So another week, another Mike Zimmer coin flip.
See what Gumby can do today.
I can't imagine how big the goosebumps on Mike Zimmer's nipples must have been as he watched Gumby completely unable to get the ball downfield to his wide receivers.
Bridgewater's pass deflected once again.
I think Mike Zimmer would rather win in spite of his offense than because of it.
Bridgewater's pass deflected once again.
I really wasn't into this game at all until early in the second half when the Vikings offense imploded. They gave the Panthers those 2 touchdowns. I think a lot of people checked out at that point, but I actually got into it at that point because I became so pissed at the thought of Gumby getting any credit for this win.
See what Gumby can do today.
All people would be talking about is, oh, Gumby's a winner, and oh, if only they had kept Gumby, if only he hadn't hurt his leg in 2016, how things would have turned out so much better here.
Bridgewater's pass deflected once again.
No. The Panthers outplayed the Vikings in the first half, and they were losing. Why? Because of Gumby. Because he sucks. He can't throw a football. I'm so sick of hearing about what a great kid Gumby is. Oh, Teddy, such a great leader, and he can't throw a frickin' football.
Bridgewater to the end zone, incomplete.
He sucks.
Bridgewater's pass deflected once again.
He sucks.
Bridgewater's pass deflected once again.
So pathetic in that game, but these loser Minnesotans, and it's this Minnesota nice mentality. The one touchdown pass Gumby threw was a 3-yard dump off that I think accidentally went to a wide receiver. And I think Gumby saw the defensive lineman covering it and was like, well, there's no way that's a wide receiver I'm throwing to, so I'm throwing it to him. Because he would never deliberately throw to a wide receiver. Never. That's the last thing you'd want to do. All I saw all game was Gumby facing zero pressure. Sort of like what you saw Andy Dalton facing last week when Andy Dalton led them to 31 points. And this week, Gumby led Carolina, 13? Against the same defense, the same lack of pressure.
Bridgewater's pass deflected once again.
Kirk Cousins was under constant pressure all game. Literally, the Panthers were rushing 3 and getting massive pressure immediately. And he didn't even have his most trusted receiver, Adam Thielen, and yet he played with a lot of poise, a lot of resilience, big passes on 3rd down.
As Cousins is able to get rid of it and connects with Jefferson.
To bums like B.C. Johnson. And Kirk Cousins outplayed Gumby so badly, yet it came down to the Panthers kicker, don't know his name, not gonna look it up, missing that kick. Otherwise, the Panthers would have won, despite Kirk Cousins so badly outplaying frickin' Gumby.
Bridgewater's pass deflected once again.
Fairly meaningless game that looked like it was just going to be really boring. Ended up having a lot of meaning for me because it means we don't have to hear about this frickin' Gumby crap anymore.
See what Gumby can do today.
Anyway, our awards for this week, the Summer of George Offense Award, that of course goes to the Vikings, who...
I proclaim this the Summer of George!
People really don't understand what Carolina was doing at the end when they were rushing 3 and allowing the Vikings to march down the field.
From the 35 on 1st down. Cousins fires wide open. It's Rudolph.
You guys missed the point. The Vikings let Carolina get pressure with a 3-man rush earlier in the game. And that caused Carolina to just think it was a cakewalk. Their bodies stopped working. Their brains stopped working. Everything shut down.
Hello, George.
Come in.
Because the Vikings made it so easy for them to get pressure. So on that last drive of the game, Carolina's coach, he's like, well, we can get pressure with 3, obviously. Gary Kubiak or Mike Zimmer, whoever did that. That was brilliant. The Mike Tice Award for pitiful clock management. That goes to, again, Carolina's head coach. Don't know his name, not going to look it up. Panthers had the ball with 3:12 left. 1st and 10. The Vikings only had 1 timeout. Panthers run 3 plays, yet they only ran 50 seconds off the clock, and the Vikings didn't have to use a timeout. Of course, then BB muffs the punt. Carolina runs 3 more plays, and yet somehow they end up kicking a field goal with 1:50 left. Carolina had 2 possessions. Vikings had 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning. Carolina ran off 1:30. And Vikings scored with 40 seconds left. That was some great clock management there by the Panthers coach, who may not be their coach much longer. I think that was kind of the Summer of George defense, now that I think about it, because the Vikings, were leaving Carolina guys wide open, and they started just dropping passes, and Gumby was just missing them. That they just couldn't function with the lack of resistance they were getting from the Vikings defense. Cheap shot of the week. So there's 2 candidates this week. For Harrison Smith, he tried to win it this week, by taking out his own guy, Jeff Gladney, on that pathetic effort. But the winner is whoever hit Chad Beebe on that punt early in the game. He got hit immediately as he caught caught the ball, and there was a 15-yard penalty. That got in BB's head. That directly led to BB muffing that kick later. So that wins cheap shot of the week because it paid off in the end. Almost led to Carolina winning, but thankfully Gumby can't throw a pass to a guy wide open in the end zone.
Bridgewater to the end zone, incomplete, behind DJ Moore.
The award for sucking so bad for so many years and being so overrated, this is going to go to Harrison Smith, as it usually does. You know, it goes back to that pass on the final drive where Gumby just throws up this wounded duck prayer, and it's just hanging up there, and somehow Harrison Smith doesn't make a play on that. Even an average safety steps in, intercepts that. Of course, Harrison Smith decides, I'd rather just hit my own guy.
From the 35-yard line on first down, Bridgewater to a...
The Mike Zimmer Award for brilliant defensive strategy. That's where Mike Zimmer put a defensive lineman on Carolina's fastest receiver, and that led to Gumby's only touchdown pass. The award for the best representation of what the last 5 years would have looked like if Gumby hadn't hurt his leg in 2016. That was, Carolina got in this formation where they had 3 wide receivers lined up left.
Right here, this is where they make their hay. They're able to run a lot of combinations.
The announcers like pointing out, they got 3 wide receivers lined up left. Gumby takes the snap.
Out of that formation.
But it's Bridgewater looking the other way.
Looks straight to the right, never looks at the wide receivers, and just immediately throws a dump off to the running back. That is textbook Teddy Bridgewater. It's like, we got all these wide receivers and we won't even acknowledge their existence. The award for the most out-of-shape player, that's this guy, what's his name? Brett Jones. This offensive line, looks like they just literally went to like a homeless shelter and signed him. And so you can kind of understand why they can't block at all when this is kind of what they're putting out there. Kind of makes you understand why I appreciate Kirk Cousins' play this past week a little bit. The award for the typical Viking play that almost cost them the game. This is where BC Johnson caught the ball like a yard short of the first down and just went straight down without being touched, just for no reason. He just goes down. So it led to a 3rd and 1 where the Vikings didn't get it, and they had to end up picking it up on 4th down, and that could have cost them the game just by not picking up that extra yard.